Hello and welcome from Budapest. This is Hungary Reports from Public Media M1, bringing you the latest news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin in English. I'm Arpad Szőci. Thanks for tuning in. Irrigation in Hungary is expected to dramatically increase over the next decade. Estimates are that irrigated land could even be 5 times more than it currently is. The government is devoting more funds for it and simplifying rules for its implementation. Currently, you can irrigate 2 hectares for every 100 hectares of arable land, which is considerably behind what Western European countries allow. And irrigation is particularly important considering it can save a crop yield in a dry season.
Tibor Bognár is growing apples on 8.5 hectares and pears on 1.5 hectares. The farmer of Böcsvölde has no reason to complain about his yields. The main reason for this is the fact that he had his own irrigation system built years ago. He says that watering at the end of summer is especially important. We are experiencing a drought now. In a month we had about 5 to 6 millimeters of rain. On the one hand, this would be important so that the trees remain alive. On the other hand, fruits have to grow in size also. It is not the same when a fruit is 70 or 80 millimeters in size. The market is looking for larger apples, the farmer said. Droughts in the spring have shown that the farmers are very vulnerable because of the weather if they don't water. It is exactly because of this that the government has decided to launch an irrigation development program from 2020. Part of this will include building irrigation channels and water reservoirs. The program will provide an annual amount of more than 50 million euros through 10 years for developing irrigation infrastructure. Thus, we will have more than 500 million euros to improve our irrigation system, in other words, to provide water for farmers who would like to use it, said the Minister of Agriculture. The minister suggests farmers form a so-called irrigation communities when building more expensive irrigation systems that may cost millions of euros. They would also then apply for government support. The National Agricultural Chamber will also help farmers regarding making improvements. We have updated our guide available on our portal, which summarizes authorization procedures concerning water rights. This way, those who wish to build irrigation systems will receive fully transparent and easily attained assistance, said the president of the National Agricultural Chamber. The chamber is continuously working on facilitating the procurement of permits necessary for irrigation development. Sometimes it creates a more significant barrier than providing the necessary funds for the projects.
Domestic investment in Hungary continues to increase about 20% a year. That, according to figures for the second quarter of the year from the Central Statistical Office. According to the government, that is just more proof that Hungary offers an advantageous business environment. That's why an increasing number of foreign-owned and domestic companies choose to invest. The Ministry of Finance believes this positive momentum will continue and that its Economy Protection Action Plan will also contribute. 5 Hungarian universities have been accepted as full partners in the newly established European Universities Initiative. It's the brainchild of the European Commission, which wants to have a European education area built by 2025 to increase cooperation in research and other areas. For example, the Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest will take part in one of its projects. Dean László Borhi believes this is the beginning of a new era in higher education. And the Minister of Innovation and Technology thinks that this will improve the competitiveness of Hungarian universities.
According to the plans, by strengthening of the interinstitutional strategic partnership, there can be approximately 20 European universities until 2024. As it was mentioned already here, from the 54 received tenders, 70 European university networks were selected by an independent body. And from the pilot projects, which is implemented from 85 million euro, 114 education institutions from 25 countries can build closer relationship both in education and also in research.
A nationwide screening program for colon cancer that was launched last November has been hailed as a success. About 100,000 people have taken part, where they were given kits and asked to collect samples and then send them to participating labs. If the results come back positive, meaning there might be a problem, they then get follow-up treatment.
Patients will receive detailed information from their GP about how to use the colon examination package. Painless sampling is done by everyone at home. Tibor Juhász is pleased with the opportunity because he has had several people in his family with colon cancer. The important thing is that we'll receive information regarding our health status, the man said. So far, the National Centre for Public Health has invited 350,000 people between the ages of 50 and 70 to participate in this free screening. More than 100,000 have already returned their samples. Doctors think that it's very important to diagnose the illness or benign change that precedes it as soon as possible. If we find polyps, then what you need to know is that after many years it can turn into cancer. So the real prevention is if a cancer is found during a screening, it's probably at an early stage that can be operated on and be cured, Dr. György Székely explained. The government is spending millions of euros for preventative screenings and to popularize those. Various programs and screening buses support early detection of diseases. So far, more than 300 individuals may thank their lives to this program initiated last November. These are those patients who were diagnosed with malignant tumors at the screenings. This way it became possible to identify the illness well before it would have caused any symptoms or complaints. Approximately half of family doctors have joined the colon screening program so far. Those individuals between 50 and 70 years whose family doctor is not participating in the program may ask for the screening package any time that they want from the National Public Health Service.
Hungary did well at the WorldSkills competition that just took place in Kazan, Russia. It attracted more than 1,300 competitors from many vocations and from more than 60 countries. Young people could compete in 56 skills, ranging from hairdressing to electronics, just to name a few. And in the case of one young Hungarian carpenter, his solitary gold medal for Hungary also gives a boost to those from the vocations.
The gold medal goes to Christian Simon.
Furniture carpenter Christian Simon was on the podium at the WorldSkills Olympics in Kazan, Russia. He received his gold medal with the Hungarian national flag in his hand. He drilled and carved for 4 days without stopping. He had to make an Irish bar cabinet. He only concentrated on the task at hand, but it wasn't easy. They reduced his time during the race and he also made a minor mistake. But in the end, he overcame his shortfall and made something perfect. He arrived back home in Budapest on Wednesday together with the entire Hungarian team. He was greeted at the airport by friends and family. He said he still can't believe his victory. I wouldn't have thought that I could achieve this. Words are not enough to explain what I'm feeling at the moment. I'm very, very happy, the champion said. At the Olympics of Vocational Skills, WorldSkills sees the best of the best compete against one another. Hungary was represented by 24 people, including mechanics, chefs, waiters and hairdressers. They performed excellently, bringing home 12 medals. Hungary has achieved its best results ever and is ranked 20th on the medal list. Youngsters prepared for a year for the World Championships of Vocational Skills. The best were selected after several qualifying competitions in Hungary. According to the Deputy State Secretary for Vocational Training, the achieved results are a very optimistic sign for the future. This success has a message for Hungarian youth. One is to say that you can do quality work and achieve great success with vocational skills, and the other is that companies and schools working together can be truly productive, and that dual training is a perfect match, the Deputy State Secretary said. After a bit of celebrating, the Hungarian team will return to work. In a few weeks, preparations will begin for the European Championships, which will be held in Austria next year.
The first official photograph ever taken in Hungary was on this date 179 years ago, on August 29, 1840. On occasion of this anniversary, young Hungarian photographers have put together an open exhibition in Békéscsaba in the south of the country. They use classical techniques for making black and white photos. You can check out the show at the Munkácsy Mihály Memorial House until October 10th. And the world-renowned Egri Bull's Blood wines from Eger in northern Hungary have a new look, as their Superior and Grand Superior wines have just received a new bottle. It's supposed to reflect tradition as well as renewal and inspiration. The label also shows the wine region there. You'll be able to see the real thing starting September 5th at the vineyard stands at the Budapest Wine Festival at Buda Castle. And that's all for today. But before we leave you, if you're a Hungarian soccer fan, Ferencváros has just qualified for the group stage of the Europa League, beating Sūduva from Lithuania 4-2. The iconic Budapest team is back in European competition after 15 years. And Hungary Reports will be back too, live after the Hungarian language news every night at 11 p.m. local time, as well as in repeats and online. Now, please stay tuned, if you can, for our new shows in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks very much for watching, and minden jót.